also knew from book selling that I wanted my covers to be really cool. People remember covers. And I know we're not supposed to judge a book by a cover, but book selling taught me that is not the case. Like, people, like, sometimes you'll try to sell them a book, and if the cover, they don't like it, they will not buy it. Like, that happened all the time. And Sabrina and Karina just hit like a really big milestone. I just got my most recent royalty statement, and I've sold over 50,000 copies of Sabrina. And when I was looking at the number and I was like, I cannot believe this is real life. Like, I've sold tens of thousands. One of the things that flashed across my mind was the cover art. Like Gustavo Rimada, the artist who did the cover, I was like, that was really beneficial and helpful. And my friend Nayeli, who's here, she also helped me find that cover art. But I learned that from book selling. And another thing that I learned from book selling is how to talk about books. Because it's really important that if someone comes in and they're saying, well, my sibling is graduating from college and they're kind of lost right now and I want to get them a book, you have to be able to learn how to speak about books and pitch books. So in a lot of ways, as a bookseller, I was sort of a keeper of books, a protector of books, and I've just carried that through into my life as an author. Yeah, thank you. I love that question. And no one asked me about this stuff.
So I'm gonna ask the digging questions,
okay.
you know. So, so Kali and I are both North Denver people. So I went to North High, and Kali grew up in North Denver. So what does the North Denver community mean to you as a writer and or for your stories, I should say?
So I think it was Eudora Welty said, everything you need to know to be a writer you learned by the time you were 13. And I really feel like in some ways that did give me my foundational groundwork, but obviously I'm learning new things, so I'll add those in. But I remember this street. I actually remember West Side Books when it was a mechanic shop. And I remember that there was a little grocery store. We used to call it the Little Store. And I remember when the wine shop was like like a rundown liquor store where I would buy wax lips. And I just remember when North Denver was a very different neighborhood and this was a very different demographic of people that lived here. I moved away. I no longer live here. I'll be moving to Texas for a position at Texas State just for the fall semester. Don't worry, you're not getting rid of me. But I think this sort of provided me with my original worldview of what a Denver neighborhood was like. I remember my mom, Renee Fajardo, she's here. The reason I got connected to West Side Books is because my mother is a writer, and she had her first book readings here, and also Cultural Legacy bookstore that was just up the street. She actually brought me to meet Julia Alvarez when I was a little girl at that bookstore. And so being in this community and meeting artists at the Pirate Art Gallery, all these Chicano artists that my mom's community is all part of, they started like Dia de los Muertos at the Pirate, and like we would go to Patsy's Italian restaurant and we would just run around. These were our stomping grounds. Like literally, we were 8-year-old children stomping around here. I remember that was an old folks home or retirement community. Like I can go on and on, but I think in a lot of ways, I always feel sort of locked in when I get to the north side. Like this is my home and this is my original community. And it showed me what it felt like to be gentrified a little bit gently. And I know like there's no such thing as a gentle gentrification, but it wasn't so rapid on this particular block. It happened in phases. Nothing compared to what happened in Low-High, where things were just leveled. And you can see that there are still mixed old houses with some of the new builds. So I do think this was a good space if you're a student of cities, if you're someone who's studying what is happening to a city, this was a very good space to grow up and watch that happen. But yes, I have a soft spot in my heart for the north side and all the other names people call it, even though I have been told that Highlands is actually an original name. Phil taught me that, so I didn't know that. Thanks for that question.